Okay, so we're going to go over how to set up IK on a leg, and you should be able to apply that to the other leg. We will use a different IK setup for the arms, though. One that's better for acting with arms. So first of all, I need to create a skeleton. I'll switch to my side view. And a few things to note are, I asked you guys when you put the bones in your leg that you want to put a little bit of a bend in the leg, in the knee, I should say. I don't want you to, it should not be rotated. I need to make this very clear. It should not be rotated, but it needs to have a bend just based off the position, the translation between joints. Okay, so I'm going to go rename these real quick. Hip, knee, ankle, ball, toe. Okay, now I've got a little bit of a crook in the knee. It's kind of bent, and it's bent in the direction I need the knee to bend. That's the key point. The knee needs to be bent before you create IK in the direction that the knee should bend naturally for your character. And that needs to be done at the time of joint creation. Okay? And then the joint orients need to continue that. So you wouldn't want to mess it up when you're orienting your joints. So basically the x-axes for each joint should move down or point to the child. Or if it's on the left side or the right side of the body, if you've mirrored joints for behavior, then that should point the opposite direction of the child joint. Okay, so with that done, I'm ready to create the IK handle. So if we go to skeleton, IK handle, option box, we want to select the rotate plane solver. And the rest of this stuff, you can just leave it how it is. And then it switches my cursor to crosshairs, and I want to select the root joint first, and then the child joint that it should be, the control should go on to. So in this case, I selected the hip, and then I select the ankle. Now if I switch this back to perspective mode, the important indicator on the rotate plane IK solver is this little white arrow thing at the top. When I have the IK handle selected, that should be in line in the direction that your knee rotates. I'm going to turn off this extra polygonal information real quick. Okay, so with that done, what's going to happen is if I rotate this, you see if I move it up too high, the knee flips. That's bad for animation. That's called a broken rig. I'll do that a bunch of times so you guys can see it. So we want to eliminate that possibility. To do that, we need to do some custom work. So I'm going to set the pole vector X to 0.1. Then I'm going to set pole vector Y to 0 and Z to 0. Okay. Now, let's see, that did something weird. Okay, so it rotated the foot when that happened. So we need to rotate it back. So we need to grab this twist attribute and set it to 90. And that rotates the foot back into place. Now we need to have a way to make the knee rotate though. We need to be able to point the knee different directions because the animator may want the character to walk bow-legged. If that's the case, or walk with their knees out, or pigeon-toed, or so toes pointed in, the knees pointed in. You need to allow the animator that possibility. So to show you this next portion, I need to go ahead and create a control. And this control will be whatever you want it to be to control the IK foot. So I'm just going to sculpt this into the shape of a foot real quick. Okay, so now I've got my foot control. And I need to add two custom attributes to this. But first I need to make sure that transformations are frozen. And they are because I never moved it. And I need to get rid of the history on it. And I'm going to go ahead and rename it to foot control. Okay, so now it's ready to be hooked up. So now I got to add a couple attributes. So with the foot control selected, I go to Edit, Add Attribute inside the channel box. And I want to add a knee attribute with the float. Click Add. I'm going to add an offset attribute. And click OK. So I got a knee and an offset attribute on this control. Okay, so I've got the control selected. And now I'm going to shift select the IK handle. Actually, I should probably rename this real quick. IK handle. Call this the ankle IK handle. Okay, so I'm going to select both of those nodes. And I'm going to go to the Inputs/Outputs editor. And then I'm going to create a render node. A utility render node. A plus/minus average. That's the one that I want. Okay, I'm not sure actually. I think I missed it. Okay. So, for some reason, it's not showing up, so I'll show you where to find it. So we go to Window, Rendering Editors, Hypershade, and click on Utilities. So here's the plus/minus average. One of these is already in use. I created the sample file earlier. It's already in this same scene. So I accidentally created two. I'm going to delete the one that I got right now. I'm going to select that one. And I'm going to reselect the foot control and the ankle IK handle. Then I'm going to click this button here, the input and output connections button, to reload the graph. Okay, so now inside the graph I need to shift middle mouse click on foot control and drag to the plus/minus average. And I'm going to connect the knee attribute that I created